Hey guys, long time no see. Kind of sad because this is the first pregnancy that I have not made like weekly vlogs or videos or whatever. But obviously there's a lot going on in the world, so taking it day by day and doing the best I can and trying to stay at peace. So today I am 31 weeks and 6 days. Tomorrow's 32. And I had a follow-up appointment. They moved my appointments from it was supposed to be every 2 weeks, but they changed it back to every 4. So then I'll have another 4-week break. I go back in 4 weeks, and then it'll be weekly. Usually it's every 4 weeks until 28 weeks, and then after 28 it's every 2, and then after 36 it's every week. So at this point I am every 4 weeks just because of everything going on with COVID-19. So I've been very stressed out about that. I was actually initially stressed out about everything regarding having a VBAC, a VBA2C, so a VBAC after 2 C-sections. I completely trust my body and the baby and my birth, and I'm actually really excited and not even nervous. I was more nervous about doing it in a hospital setting because there's just too many risks for me as far as intervention and reasons that things can go wrong, and then me being the doormat that I am, and I'm not really good at standing up for myself. So I didn't want to feel like I had to advocate for myself or fight. Was leaning towards getting a doula, but now the hospital did consider a doula part of the support team, but they no longer do. So the only person allowed would be one support person, which is going to be my husband. So that's a little scary, but I had an excellent appointment today. She asked, how I was feeling with everything, and when I saw them 4 weeks ago, it wasn't as scary. But now there's so many hospital policies that have changed. There's hospitals that are not allowing any support partners. There's hospitals that are not even allowing you to bring in a hospital bag. There's hospitals that are making it mandatory, not in this country yet, but in Canada, they're making it mandatory for an epidural. And I don't want that. I don't want any intervention. I just want a normal birth, and I deserve it. So today at my appointment, I basically spilled everything to her. She was like, spill your guts, tell me what's going on. She was amazing. I think it was the first time I met her, although she did have a familiar face. But she was just like, don't worry about having to advocate for yourself. That's why you have a midwife. And I was like, well, I've been with you guys since 2011. And even with my other 2 births, it was different. And she's like, well, please don't use that as an example because so much has changed since then. And when the hospital makes their policy or does certain things, they always consult with us first to see what we think about it and if we think it's okay and whatnot, depending on what it is, obviously. But she said a lot has changed and they're definitely a lot more supportive. So I'm hoping she wasn't just blowing smoke up my alley, but it did seem like everything was going exactly how it should be going. She seemed extremely supportive. I told her, this is our rainbow baby. It's so hard for me to get pregnant to begin with. It's been 10 to 15 years accumulatively trying to conceive. And I do have 2 healthy kids at home that are here playing with cardboard boxes because that's what they do. And I have a rainbow baby in heaven that watches over us. But it's taking forever to make our little family, but it's okay. I'm definitely grateful for what we do have. And yeah, so basically I said everything to her and I said it's my husband's first. And it's his double rainbow. He's had 2 losses, including the one that we had together a couple years ago. But he deserves this. He deserves to experience birth. So do I. This might be the last one. There might be more. I have no idea. I do have adenomyosis, which makes it even harder to get pregnant. And they were trying to suggest a hysterectomy because there's no cure currently for adenomyosis. But I'm not ready for a hysterectomy, so I'm just trying to deal with the painful periods when not pregnant, obviously. So anyway, back to my appointment. So she was very supportive. And she was like, listen, she was like, you're practically 32 weeks. She's like, you've already overcome like a huge hurdle. She was like, you're going to have this baby. You're going to make it to term. You're going to get your VBAC. Like, you're like, she was like pumping me up. I was like, man, this is like the best appointment I've ever had. And don't get me wrong, like other midwives are great. But this was just, it was everything I needed. She listened to me. She validated my feelings about pretty much everything that's going on right now. And it was just amazing. I felt like I knocked it out of the park, and she didn't rush me. She answered all my questions. My whole little, I think I had like 8 questions on my little notes on my phone, but she answered everything, and she was very nice. There was no attitude. There was no smirks. Like the one midwife before, she would like, any question I had, she was like, like making fun of me, I felt like. So I requested to not see her, and hopefully she's not on call when the time comes. But, you know, she basically told me, you know, I don't have to run to the hospital right away. Like, she wants me to wait until contractions are 3 to 5 minutes apart for at least 2 hours. And then I can call and let them know what's going on and then come in. You know, obviously they want to know what's going on before they tell me to come in with everything happening. They don't want me to just run in right away like I did in the past, because it's just not safe to do so. But it was amazing. So then I got home and my phone rang, and it was this number, and I was just like, who's that? So I answered it and she asked to speak to me, and I was like, do I say it's me or do I say it's the wrong number? And so I said it was me, and then she was like, can I have you verify your name, date of birth, and address? And I was just like, I'm gonna need some more information first. And she told me she was calling from my insurance company. So I was just like, still a little hesitant because I've had my identity stolen in the past, but I was like, all right, whatever. So I gave her my information, and she actually talked to me for like a half hour. She was really, really nice. Like, some of the people for the insurance companies are not that nice. She was so nice, and she helped me with like so many things. And she said that she worked in the labor and delivery floor. I forget what her title was, but she worked in that unit for years before, you know, moving on to insurance. But she was very helpful with many things. And then, so I don't know how, but she was like, oh, you've had a C-section? And I was like, yeah. I said, I've actually had 2. She's like, oh, what were the reasons for them? And I told her, I said, you know, I had an infection and I had a fever, and my son was dropping D cells, and, you know, they didn't even really give it much time. It was like, oh, there was a few D cells, and no, we're going to do a surgery and, you know, whatever. And the second time, I was recovering from a Bartholin cyst surgery at 37 weeks and 6 days. And then in recovery, I actually went into labor, but I was under anesthesia, so I didn't feel it. And then they said, you know, you just had a surgery down there, so at this point, we don't really recommend that you push. We want to do a repeat C-section. So I was like, I felt like I duped myself. Like, I should have just waited to have the surgery, but I was in a lot of pain. And I do have a Bartholin cyst again this time, but I am not seeking any intervention until after birth because I'm not duping myself a third time. But yeah, so that was the reason for the second time. So it wasn't like there was a medical reason. It wasn't an emergency. They just felt that, you know, my body just went through enough trauma with the surgery. So, and then she was like, oh, well, I'm not sure why you're talking about contractions or laboring. She's like, you're not going to labor. She's like, I just want to let you know right now. She's like, you're going to have a 3rd C-section. And I was like, oh, actually, no, I'm not. And she was like, well, have you talked to your doctor about this? I said, yeah. I said, because otherwise I would have switched providers a long time ago. And she was just like, oh, and they're okay with this? Like, and I was just like, okay, so you must be old school and not evidence-based, because I don't know, but it just, like, I had such an amazing appointment. And then after that phone call, even though she was so nice and it was such a good experience with her, like, it just kind of left like a nasty taste in my mouth once she like went down that road. I was just like why? Like, I had such a good day and I've been going through so much lately. Like, why? So now I just kind of feel like not defeated. I shouldn't let her bother me. And there's a lot of people who just simply aren't educated and they don't understand that it's risky either way, but there's obviously less risks with doing it the natural way. So it is what it is. I'm not giving up my dream. I have a supportive team this time. Not that it was unsupportive before, but yeah, I don't know. So that's why I made the video, because I was so upset. I was just like, why would she just came and crushed my dreams? Like, I didn't ask you for any of that. So anyway, I am going to end this video. I have an appointment on Monday to check on the status of my marginal placenta previa. It was only slightly marginal, so hopefully it self-resolved. I had the same issue last pregnancy and it self-resolved. So that's kind of like the last step that I need to get my VBAC. So cross your fingers, and hopefully everything goes well, and I will try to make more videos because I really miss doing this. I felt like that was my outlet with my last pregnancy, even though it was like 5 years ago. But it was definitely like an outlet. Like, it was a stress reliever. It was a way to like get my feelings out, not on paper, but like on video. And obviously there's other women who are going through the same things as me. Obviously, if you see this video a year from now, I pray to God that you're not going through COVID-19 stuff. But anyway, thank you for watching. As always, if you don't mind long videos with me blabbering about nonsense, you can definitely subscribe. I would appreciate it. But if I'm not your cup of tea, that is okay too. So anyway, stay safe, you guys. Have a nice day. Good luck to you guys.